Hey guys, I just wanted to remind you about some of the things we talked about yesterday as far as what all we have for our new materials that are coming this week. Either your parents have already picked them up or they're getting picked up later this week. So you can always watch this video another time too, later on, to double check to make sure you have everything. Anyway, here goes. So the first thing that you'll see that you have with your materials is you'll have your math book. This one doesn't have a sticker with the number on it anywhere, like right over here, but yours will have a sticker with the number. Notice that number, that's going to be your number all year long. So keep track of that number. It's good to memorize it so that you can have it for the rest of this year, including when we come back to school. You'll also have a Senderos Cuaderno de Lector. Again, has your number on it. Make sure you keep track of that number. That means that mine is 30. Anything with number 30 is mine. But if you're number 2, anything with number 2 would be yours. So just keep track of that number. After the books, then you have your toolkit. And again, your toolkit should have your name on it and your number. I put it in cursive so that you can get some practice with seeing what cursive looks like and seeing how to make some of those letters. So inside of the toolkit, the first thing you might notice is right here we have this yellow sheet that's in both Spanish and English explaining what you need to keep in this box. Some of the things in the box you don't have to keep and you can keep outside of the box or give to your parents because it's just information for them to have or whoever's watching you or helping you during school time. But the things on this list you will want to keep in this box because you're going to bring this box for every Zoom meeting we have. So just keep that in mind. You can always read through to double check you have everything. Besides the toolkit, besides the yellow paper on the inside, you have a letter. I don't have that letter here, but it's a letter with a picture of Rapid Identity that shows how to get onto Rapid Identity. Almost all of you got on our Zoom meeting, so I know you know how to get onto Rapid Identity. Everybody's on Google Classroom. So again, I'm sure you know how to use that one. I'm not going to worry about showing you that, but that letter is in your boxes if you want to show your parents or if you need a reminder of how to use it. After that, you also have a copy of the schedule. It's both sides, one side in English, one side in Spanish. But this is the schedule for the whole day, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, not Wednesdays. Wednesdays, we're not in Zoom, and it's going to be what we call independent work. So that's going to be you working by yourself on things that might be in Google Classroom or YouTube or things like that. We'll always make sure that there is information on Google Classroom to tell you what you need to do. So this is the schedule. I would keep this somewhere to help you know maybe where you will do your work, to help you remember when we're doing what subject so that you have everything ready. And just a reminder, in the morning, toda la mañana estamos en español, and after lunch is when we go into English time. So just keep that in mind. You also have a packet here that has instructions for Zoom. If you need some reminders about how to get onto Zoom or how to use things with Zoom, this is a great starting point. It's in both languages, Spanish here on one side and English in the other. It also has instructions. If you're not using your Chromebook and you're trying to get on Zoom on an iPad, it has information with that too. Again, both languages. So even if you know how to use Zoom, you can always show it to whoever's nearby as you're doing things to help them kind of learn too. You also will have this half sheet that is inside of your box. This is for an adult at home, for a parent or whoever's helping you with homework or with things during the day. No matter whether it's during school time or at night, it's good for them to have this information so they know how to contact me. So that's going to include my phone number to call or text. It has my email address, and it has the school's phone number. And it does say at the bottom that I'll be using what's called Remind for parents to send them reminders about things that are going on. So make sure that this maybe goes on the fridge or goes somewhere so that an adult can always see it and see the numbers to get in touch with me, the emails, and how they can contact me. Another thing you will have in your box is you will have 2 different place value mat types. First of all, you may have a big, long place value mat. Starts at ones, goes all the way to hundred thousands. So this is one of them. Notice it's laminated. It has the plastic on it already so that I can use this like a whiteboard. So for example, I have my dry erase marker right here. I can write something. And then when I'm done, it comes right off and it's ready for the next use. So we're going to use these a lot in math time. So make sure you have this in your box. This does stay in the box. You can fold it when you're done and put it back in the box. The back side of it is just white, so you could use that as a whiteboard. So there's going to be times when I say, okay, on your whiteboard, write this for me. On this side, there's the writing again. And when you're done, you can erase it. So that is your place value mat that's from 1 to 100,000. There's 2 place mats. This is one of them. You will also have another kind of place value mat that has 2 sides. You have the place value mat. Oh, that's upside down. From ones to hundreds, just for those 3-digit numbers. And then on the other side, we have the place value mat again, but from ones to thousands, just for 4-digit numbers and 3-digit, 2-digit, 1-digit numbers. So you'll notice this is in a sheet protector. I can take this paper out if I want and then put it back in. Because this sheet protector is a plastic, I can use this like a whiteboard too. So your dry erase marker works great for writing on this, and again, you can erase it whenever you need to. So both sides work that way. Excuse me. So just keep that in mind that if we're doing small numbers, that's an option too. You also will have a bag. Give me one moment to grab that bag. Of some different place value pieces. So we have this here, this bag. It's just easier to hold all the small pieces inside of the bag instead of trying to keep track of all of them. So you have place value blocks, which are just orange, and they have ones. They also have tens, and they have hundreds. So those, and then the thousands, I'll show you in just a second. That's inside of this bag. Those can stay in here. You also have what we call place value discs, which we're going to learn about this year. We're going to teach you how to use those. But those are the circles in different colors that have numbers written on them. So for example, these are the 100,000 discs. You are welcome. I would suggest you cut on the lines to make each individual one. You can choose if you just want to do a square for the disc or if you want to cut around the circle. That is your choice. But again, once you've cut them out, keep them here in this bag. It makes them a lot easier to keep track of. Also inside of the bag, I forgot to tell you yesterday, we have a die, or dice as you might call it, un dado. And this is going to be used for when we have some independent math time and I need you to make up some numbers. You're going to use that die to throw it and see what number you're going to get to make your 3 or 4-digit numbers. So let's keep that dice in here too, just because it's small, it's easy to keep track in the bag. You also have, as far as place value, you have thousands blocks. Now this doesn't look like 1,000. I know you might say, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, this is only 600, not 1,000. But the way this is going to work, later in a few weeks probably, I will show you how to make this from a flat piece of paper into an actual cube that will represent the thousands block. So you have 2 of these so that we can make 2 cubes. So just for now, leave it like this. Later, I'll show you how to make it. When we do make it, you will need the glue stick, which is also right here. So this glue stick will come in handy to make that. And then that's all we might need the glue stick for. So if you want to leave the glue stick in your toolkit, you can. Otherwise, you can store it somewhere else as long as you know where it is. Almost done. We've got a few more things. I mentioned earlier some things that can be erased. or written on like a whiteboard. So we have our dry erase marker and an eraser. The blue side is not the eraser, it's just the black side. If you finish the black side and it runs out and you doesn't have any more, a Kleenex works great, napkin, paper towel. Your finger could work too, but then you might get some ink on your skin, so just keep that in mind. Do you have a pack of cards? This will be for our independent math time. I know we can use packs of cards to play games, and that's great. For this pack, though, I'm going to ask that you keep all the cards inside of this little box, and then that this box stays inside your toolkit, the clear plastic box, so that we can keep track of them. If you have other cards at home, you can use those cards to play with games or things like that. This is going to be used for some games later, but they're specifically for math. So please, again, the cards, you can take the cards out, but when you're done, they go back in this little box, and then this whole box goes back into the clear toolkit box. All right, let's see, just a couple more things. You'll have 2 pencils. You can use these for work in your math book, work in your Senderos book, things like that. We also have asked from parents that you guys would have a pack of pencils at home, but just in case you don't have some at home, you've got a couple right here. And they've got erasers on them. Finally, you have what we call a math resource ring. So this right here, this is only English because that's what we do our math in is English. That's why it's blue, because English is done in blue. So this is something we're going to use throughout the year. If you're trying to remember something about something we've learned in math, this is going to be when you come back to this ring. So for example, if you're trying to remember, I can't remember how to spell 14, then you can look here. There's number words, 1 to 20. I can look, say, here's 14 in numbers. Here's how I write it. And you can use that as a resource. So it's got number words, multiplication strategies, the multiplication chart, division strategies, multiples. It's got a lot of things. I'm not going to go through all of them right now, but it has a lot of things that will be really useful to help you remember things if you need those reminders of how to do things. So this also stays inside of your toolkit. You also have in your toolkit or in the bag that with your materials is a box of crayons. And that'll be used throughout our school year, especially while we're doing online. There's going to be times when we need you to recreate or copy down charts that I've made for you. And then those colors will work great for adding the color because we color code things sometimes too. So the crayons, keep track of those they don't have to stay in your toolkit box, but they do need to be somewhere where you can find them and use them all the time. One last reminder with that, please make sure when we meet for Zoom meetings, once you have all of this, I would bring this with you to your Zoom meeting. If you already have a place where you keep things for those Zoom meetings, great, you can keep it right there. If you don't have that spot and you need to just keep it somewhere in your room, that's fine. Just keep track of it so you know where to find it when the time comes. Hopefully that helps you understand a little bit more about those materials that you have coming. If you need help with getting them picked up, or if you have any questions and you're trying to understand a little better what we might be using things for, feel free to let me know in Google Classroom. You can also let me know in our Zoom meetings on the chat box, or your parents can always text or call me or send me a message on Remind, things like that. So there's a lot of ways that you can let me know if you have questions. Hopefully that helps you understand a little bit more. Sorry this video was so long, but there were so many things to show you. I wanted to make sure you understood. I look forward to talking with you again soon. Bye.